Welcome back to Financial Fashion Talk Podcast, episode 13. We're here back again. I'm the CEO, Mr. Best.
I'm the CFO, Mr. Best.
Yeah. And we here once again, man. So we just gonna go ahead and get started.
So
yeah, man. The question I wanted to ask you. First question I wanted to ask you, bro. Like, name something that you said you would never do that you end up doing.
Well, man, I don't know if it's not many things that I can like. Cause if I feel like this, man, if I put that title on something,
yeah,
then it had to be real serious. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'd never work at a restaurant, fast food restaurant. And like, I'm 32 years old. You know what I'm saying? I never, ever in my life worked at a fast food restaurant, bro.
Why you want to work at fast food restaurant?
I don't know, man. It was just like, I don't know, man. Like I can't even remember. I can't even remember why I said I would never do it. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't never see myself doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said it, I stuck with it, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Hey, you know? Okay, like it's about two things that I said I would never do that I ended up doing. I said I would never work at a fast food restaurant, and I said I would never work at a grocery store.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, bro, I ended up working at both of them.
You worked at a grocery store?
I worked at Walmart.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I hated those jobs.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
You see what I'm saying? But before I ever worked at Walmart, bro, I used to work at a retail store. I used to work in retail.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. I used to use your discount.
But I'm saying though, this is the thing, bro. This is what I'm saying. Like, I went all the way through high school without working fast food. I went all the way through high school without working at a grocery store.
Right.
But the one store that I did work at, I still hated it.
Right.
I said these two things was the two things I didn't want to do, but the job that I ended up doing, I still hated it.
Right. You talking about the grocery store?
No, I hated the shoe store.
Oh wow.
I used to work at the shoe show on Old National.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
And I used to hate that job. I used to hate that job.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Okay. I just want to bring that up because I really wanted to know your answer about that.
Yeah.
So man, let's go ahead and get into the topic. I know there's something that we mentioned, bro, about barriers.
Yeah.
And yesterday you talked about a certain instance of where you had a conversation with a guy that you met while you was at work.
Right.
And so what I want you to do, bro, is explain to the people, what happened.
Well, man, it was a very organic conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even like jump off, with us even discussing that topic. You know what I'm saying? I greeted him, how you doing, man? As usual.
Right.
Because I see him every month, man, on my job, because I have to serve business every month, but that don't matter. So I was just having a conversation with the guy, man, and we went to talking about this and that, man, and we got on the topic of, how times used to be and how like time has become, with people being more divided than they used to be. You know what I'm saying? He had said one thing that really struck my attention.
Yeah.
And he said, man, I feel like things are the way that they are now is because, people create barriers, you know what I'm saying, that actually create that division, amongst, society, you know what I'm saying? When he said that, I was like, bang, barriers, you know what I'm saying? And that's like something that, like, you can create yourself, you know what I mean? Like, it's an imaginary wall that's not even there, but you built it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, like, like built this whole like frame of mind that's not even real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like it actually limits like your connection. Like it limits your connection. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got a blockage, where's the connection?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, man, yeah, bro, like that's why that when he said that word, it really struck my attention. But I was like, wow, man. And I went to thinking about barriers, man, and how individually, you know what I'm saying, like we build barriers and they block us, from specific goals. They block us from great relationships, you know what I'm saying? They block us from, opportunities, you know what I'm saying, that we can have personally for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I just went to reflecting on my life. you know what I mean, and just thinking about the barriers that I created to like disconnect me from opportunities, man, that I could have had. You know
Talk
what I
about
mean?
that. Talk about that.
That could put me in this position, man, like on my job, bro. And this is just recently, you know what I'm saying? On my job, man, like it requires you to have a CDL.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been saying for the longest, man, like because I drive and I like to drive, you know what I'm saying? So I've been supposed to get my CDL for the longest. You know what I'm saying? And I've been finding every reason not to get the thing that I wanted for the longest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
sense do that make, bro? You know what I'm saying? But actually, what I was doing to myself is building up barriers to stop me from getting to my goal. Ultimately, that was my goal. Ultimately, that was my goal, to have my CDL and my license and my wallet. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to, because when you got it, like it create opportunity for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like I was finding every excuse not to study. You know what I'm saying? Every excuse, like not to actually pursue it. You know what I'm saying? With an aggressive attitude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I found every reason in the world not to do like and this is what I wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Something you
Right.
said.
This is what I
wanted to
said.
do.
Yeah, bro. Right, man. Like
right.
this is what I said I wanted. You know what I'm saying? But man, bro, like building barriers, man, like it's very like detrimental, bro.
I want to talk about I want to talk about barriers too, bro, because when you first brought that to my attention, bro, I couldn't do nothing but agree.
Right.
Because when I started to think, like how you said, you started thinking about your life, and you started thinking about the barriers that you create for yourself.
Right.
It forced me to think about the barriers that I create for myself, bro. And I had to be honest with myself.
Oh, most definitely.
I had to be honest with myself about these barriers. And I thought about it for a while, but I came up with 2 specific barriers that I know I create for myself that keeps me from going to the place where I want to go.
Right.
Okay, now the first barrier, I call it the faith barrier.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You know, it's a faith barrier.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to explain what that barrier is.
Go ahead.
Okay, now, having faith is like something that's not normal, right?
Right.
Because like faith is like you're actually stepping out on a limb or something. You don't really know the end result about it.
Yeah.
But you just have a certain expectation on it.
Right.
But see, what I'm saying is like sometimes having faith may seem wrong.
Right. Of course.
You see what I'm saying? Like you get to the point where you feel that people don't see things the way you see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You having faith in this particular thing, but people don't see it the way you see it.
Right.
People don't agree with it the way you feel like they should agree with it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you feel alone.
Right. Barrier.
Yeah, you feel alone all by yourself.
Right.
So then you start to tell yourself that it's wrong to actually have that.
Right. Exactly, man.
So you create that barrier
exactly
for yourself.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Based off something else.
Right, man. Right. That's true. And then another thing, man, like not only do you start creating barriers for yourself, you'll actually start to blame it on other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like why
Yeah.
you stop doing what you wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Why you stop pursuing what you wanted to get. You know what I'm saying? And like you done made this wall up to block you from doing what you wanted to do. And now you saying it's somebody else's fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
man, I was saying like everything else was the issue to why I wasn't pursuing like the opportunity that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like I was putting on everything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, I know we're gonna get to it later on in the podcast, but like it takes, like you just said, man, like to realize that it's you.
Right.
To break down that barrier. Like you gotta actually assume the responsibility to say it's me.
And take initiative.
Right.
Yeah, take initiative.
Right,
yeah,
bro. Like you have to.
Right.
You have to.
Right.
That's the only that's the only way, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna surpass, you know what I'm saying, these obstacles in our life, man. You know, you gotta take responsibility for the things that you are responsible for.
And that goes along with, man, self-assessment that we've been talking about.
Definitely, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That self-assessment what we're talking about now. These barriers, of course, we all have them.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? We all can ignore them too. We can be ignorant to our own barriers.
Most definitely.
And you know what happens when you ignore things?
They
pile up.
Exactly.
You get piled up and you got all these barriers and you trying to figure out why you can't do nothing more than what you're doing.
Right.
But it's because like we built these barriers that's stopping up our growth. It stops up our growth. It stops up, you know, things that we can possibly learn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Testimonies that you can possibly have.
Right.
It's really just stopping up. You going to whatever next level that you think you need to go.
Oh, and I'm glad you just said that because like it stops you from going to the next level because like you let it pile up and now you carrying a weight that's so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like you walking around slumped over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like carrying instead of
looking
like exactly like you carrying this. You carrying this. Now you pissed off, you angry, you frustrated, you know what I mean? You stressed out. And you want to put it on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But like you can release, you can relinquish that weight, you know what I'm saying, that's on your shoulders just by accepting the responsibility and coming into the self-realization that, hey, you know, all of this time I've been looking around, looking over there, but I never took the time to look within.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, and that means like we got to start, you know, once you look in the mirror, you ask the question like, what's holding me back?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What's hindering me?
Right.
Those are the barriers that we're talking about. Everybody that's on this live, everybody under the sound of my voice, I'm pretty sure we all have things that we feel is holding us back.
Bro, I feel you, bro.
So what I say?
I hate working for someone else.
Right,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? Like real talk.
And I'm gonna talk about another barrier, bro. I'm gonna talk about another barrier.
Yeah.
This is another barrier that I deal with personally, or that I dealt with personally.
Right.
Is giving myself time to talk myself out of doing something that I need to do.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we'll know what we need to do, right?
Right.
We'll know exactly the steps that we need to take to get there.
Right.
But see, it's like we'll sit and procrastinate, and in your sitting and procrastination, you will tell yourself reasons why you shouldn't do it.
Right. Right.
So it's like I call that the second thought barrier.
Right.
Like it's always a second thought. Like you second guessing yourself.
Right. Instead of just like going full.
Instead of just acting. Instead of just acting on it.
Yeah, man.
You want to think too much.
Right.
And then you tend to think yourself out of it.
Right. Like you think too much.
Right.
Talk too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Worry too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like all of that, bro. Like it's all in that one pot. And you sitting up there filling your bowl up from that pot that you done cooked up, you know what I'm saying, this delicious meal of doubt, you know what I'm saying, with all these ingredients of stress and doubt and worry, fear. And you just, fear, man. Like, you know, mix it all up, you know what I mean, you filling your plate up with it and you just constantly, you know what I mean, you constantly just grubbing on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
bro.
You constantly grubbing on it. But the only way, I feel like the only way, man, that you can actually talk about it, is when you come to a place that you can see that you in that place. You gotta admit it. You gotta admit it. Right. You gotta admit it, man. And that's like, you know, Alcohol Anonymous. You know what I'm saying? Like intervention programs. You know what I mean? Rehabilitation programs. Like, the first step is always to admit. You know what I'm saying? That like, my name is George. And I am a procrastinator. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be real.
Like, just be real with
you. Gotta be real with
like,
yourself.
Be 100. Like, it ain't mama's fault. It ain't sister's fault. It ain't your kid's fault. It ain't your girl's fault. You know what I'm saying? It ain't cousin them. It ain't auntie them.
Look, bro. Let's talk about some more barriers. Because there's a lot of them.
Oh, definitely, man.
But I'm talking about, we want to talk about those barriers that like personally have affected us. Barriers that, you know, we're growing from.
Right.
And so another barrier that I found out, man, that I had problems with is like the willingness to commit. You see what I'm saying? Like, You got to be willing to commit to being better.
Right.
You got to be willing to commit to be your best self.
Right.
Like, that's a full commitment.
Most definitely.
Like, you got to be fully committed to doing that.
Right, man.
The only way you can be successful at being your best self is to commit to doing things that will make you your best self.
Exactly, man. And like, don't make no excuses to why you can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If, like, you almost admitting to yourself that you're worthless. Like, you admitted it. You know what I'm saying? And like, and that's another barrier as well, man. You know what I mean? Like, self-esteem.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like self-esteem was a barrier, like, for a long time, like a long period in my life. And like, I didn't realize or understand like who I was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, got self-esteem issues. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody can be, and this goes for anybody. Somebody can be on the outside of you, looking at you, like, you got self-esteem issues.
Right. I can't believe not you.
You?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If I could, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And that's another thing, man. Like, we create these barriers. We actually block ourselves from helping other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the case in point is, before you can even help somebody, like, you gotta first help yourself.
You got to.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, because if you try to help somebody, but you got you got 4 walls around you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for somebody?
I mean, bro, like, there's no freedom in confinement.
Oh,
there's no freedom in confinement.
Right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what those barriers do to us.
Right.
It confines us to our current self.
Right.
And it's like, you'll stay that current person.
Right.
And you won't be able to change from that current person until you start breaking down those barriers. And before you break down those barriers, bro, you gotta self-assess.
You got to.
You gotta self-assess. You gotta look in the mirror. You gotta get in the habit of actually sitting down and being critical on the things that you want to change.
Right. And that's another thing, like, that you had mentioned the other day. We talked about on another podcast, man, talking about starving your distraction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, what is the biggest distraction to you other than you?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We can be our biggest distraction.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But the whole while you saying, nah, it ain't me. It's
such and such.
It's such and such. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Such and such.
But yeah, man, self-assessing. When it comes down to barriers, self-assessment is very, very important. It's very important. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no graduation in procrastination. You know what I'm saying? You can't be gradual. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't be progressive. You know what I'm saying? You can't be you can't be what's the word I'm looking for? You can't be deliberate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do any of that and you confine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you confine, like, you are stuck in one place and you can't move. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I found myself at a whole lot of times in my life, man. And the thing that killed me was I felt like I was supposed to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you deserved it.
Right. Exactly, man. Like, and I know it's a lot more people that feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's in, different situations. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with personal issues. Like, I know, like, you feel like you're supposed to be there. Like, I'm supposed to do. I deserve this. No, you don't. No, you don't.
And that's where you got to know your worth at.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Because we'll accept how we feel.
Right.
You accept how you feel.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? No matter, like, whether you feel high or low.
Right.
You accept it because it's you.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why it's so hard to, like, check yourself.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's you.
Definitely. I'd rather have a fight with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'll put more of a fight with you than I would with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Man, like I'm gonna say this, like, you know, it was a story about, you know, the eagle in the chicken pen.
Oh, tell me about that. I ain't never heard that.
So this man found the bird one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he put it in there with the chickens. And like day and day and day, like the bird just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like he kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And he started looking, he looked different. He didn't look like a chicken. You know what I'm saying? But he knew who he was. And once he reached his full potential, like the man even saw, like, dang, this ain't no chicken. I gotta let him go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta let him out of this coop. I gotta let him out of this cage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, the eagle knew who he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
eagle knew who he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when the man let him go, like he just flew free. He was free. He wasn't cooped up no more. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we can do our own self.
Cause he already knew he was in a place he didn't belong.
Exactly. Exactly. He looked up in the sky. You know what I'm saying? He saw other eagles flying.
Right.
And he was like, man, what am I doing in here? You know what I'm saying? I don't supposed to be in here.
Right.
And like all I'm saying is we have to reach that mindset. We have to reach that mindset of what am I doing here? Like I don't supposed to be here. I don't have to be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get out of here because this ain't who I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I thank God just within the last few days, man, like dealing with the experiences that we, you know, dealt with.
Right.
Like, I can say that it was like an epiphany, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, living beneath your means is not something that you deserve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can understand if you're doing it to get somewhere.
Right.
But don't constrict yourself to that.
Right.
Because that's not who we are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not who we are.
Because we're great.
Exactly. Exactly. But in self-assessing, you will actually realize that dwells within you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to the audience, like just look in the mirror. Like just look in the mirror. Think highly of yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying being high-minded.
Not arrogant.
Not arrogant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be better than nobody. I'm just trying to be better me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
See, that's a healthy confidence.
Right. Right.
That's a healthy confidence.
Right.
See, sometimes we'll get in a place where we'll be confident in ourselves, but we don't necessarily have the right traits.
Right.
We don't necessarily have the right personality or the right character.
Right.
But we still have confidence.
Right.
And I feel like that's where really arrogance comes from.
Right.
It moves from confidence to arrogance because arrogance is really like you're magnifying yourself.
Right.
But you don't have anything good that you're magnifying.
Exactly.
Because you're feeling that you're above somebody else.
Right.
See, that's why it's the difference between confidence and arrogance.
Right.
Confidence, confidence, you can be confident in all humility.
Right. And I was just about to speak on humility, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's
confidence and humility.
Already.
But in arrogance, bro,
ain't no humility.
You're not humble and arrogant.
Nah, because if you arrogant, like what can you offer anybody?
Nothing.
But you're behind.
But you can't receive anything.
You can't receive nothing
because you already have it.
Exactly. It's just like a balled up fist.
Right.
Nothing can go in and nothing can come out. You know what I'm saying? So basically, like you living, you confined. You know what I'm saying? You confined to a selfish way of thinking, to a selfish mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get nothing because if you're a giver, you have to get in order to give.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You have to get because you are a giver. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like that's wow. That's just what it is, man. An arrogant and high-minded and hardy person. Like that's no.
I mean, that's a barrier as well.
It is.
That's a barrier as well. And I want to bring up this quote, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I told you this quote before, but the quote says that he who knows nothing knows everything.
Mm.
He who knows nothing knows everything.
Right, man.
Because if you already feel like you have everything that you need, you won't press for more.
Right. You ain't gonna strive for nothing.
Because you're already there.
Exactly.
And then, not only that, when you already feel that you're already there, you don't need to look in the mirror.
Right.
Cause let's think about it. Why would you look in the mirror if you felt like you already look good?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if your hair was already like smooth and cut, soon as you hop out the bed,
right.
I mean, you got them dogs in there.
Right.
Why would you look? You already know how you look.
Right. Ain't no need.
There's no need to look in mirrors.
Exactly.
Because you feel as if you already have it.
Right.
You complete.
Right. And that's a lie.
But then you're gonna stay right there. And see, that's the thing.
Exactly.
If we don't get over these barriers,
right.
if we don't get over these barriers that we create for ourselves or barriers that we let other people give us, if we don't get past those barriers,
right.
there's no growth.
Right.
There's no growth beyond where you are right now.
None at all.
That's why you have to break those barriers. That's why you have to break the barrier of unbelief.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to somebody that's very special to us in the podcast who got a shirt that says "Believe It."
Mm.
She got connected with us, and she has a shirt that says "Believe It," and that's a barrier that we all face, bro.
Right.
Unbelief.
Right.
We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in what we're doing.
Right.
And that's a huge barrier.
Right.
That's a huge barrier that keeps us from being successful.
Exactly. And it keeps us from elevating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, man, I can get on the elevator, man, and like, if I don't press a button, I'm not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can get inside the vehicle that's supposed to take you somewhere, but if you're not doing anything to operate the vehicle, you're not going to make any progress.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be in a position to do whatever it is that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not doing anything to activate it, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's a barrier as well. You know what I'm saying? You could be in the position to do whatever it is you want to do whatever it is you need to do, but you're not doing anything.
Right.
You're in the right place.
And you know what, bro? Breaking those barriers is going to create fuel for your fire.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Like, look at barriers as dirt on fire. What it's going to do is going to suffocate. It's going to suffocate your goals. It's going to suffocate your dreams.
Right.
It's going to suffocate your drive.
Right.
That's what barriers do. Right. That's what barriers do.
Right.
Like, you got all of this greatness underneath.
Right.
You got all these greatness
Barrier.
outside of those walls of confinement.
Right.
You got all of this greatness outside of the barriers that you create.
Right. But
you will never see it because it's being covered up by the barriers that we create. That's crazy.
Say it. The barriers that what?
We create.
Right, man. Not nobody else.
The barriers that we create and the barriers that we let control us.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to check these comments, though, bro.
Almost definitely, man.
Because, you know, it's getting kind of late. We have to deal with our own concept of work. Amen. It says we have to deal with our own concept of worthiness. Wow. What you think that means to you, bro? Like, we have to deal with our own concept of worthiness. And I believe I know what she means by that. I know what she means by that.
Well, spell that.
It's like you already have a preconceived notion of the way you think of yourself.
Right. Self-worth.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you already, and sometimes, let me put it like this. Sometimes you're not even aware that you have any worth. You see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you don't even feel that you have any worth. And so that's what she's saying. Like, you have to come to terms with that. You have to really look in the mirror and say, hey, like, what do I really think about myself?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I am those things I say I am.
Right.
I am whatever I say I am.
But see, that comes along with self-assessment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That comes along with accepting that you've been making excuses all of this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That comes along with actually accepting that you've been holding you back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what that comes with. You know what I'm saying? That's where you'll find your own concept of worthiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you could get away from, you know what I mean, belittling and degrading. Like we belittle and degrade our own self.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying before, man, like some situations that we be in, man, like we feel like we actually deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like that our self-worth then is actually at below zero.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why you get so heavy. You know what I'm saying? That's why your mind it gets all bogged down. You know what I'm saying? That's why you can't have fluid thoughts of positivity. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, man, like
wow, that goes hand in hand to what we was talking about last week. It goes very hand in hand to what we was talking about, you know, learning from situations.
Right.
Learning from each situation because like I said, we get in the habit of looking at the bad in the situation and we miss what we're supposed to learn out of the situation.
Right.
And you know, so that bad, man, it keeps us in a place.
Oh yeah.
Focusing on that bad keeps us in a place. And that it's like you're doomed. You see what I'm saying? Like when you think of the bad of the situation, you feel that you are doomed to that situation.
Like there's no hope.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to put it with her point with about the concept of worthiness. Like when you're going through those situations, right? And the situation is bad and you focusing on the bad, that's how you feel. And you start to respect how you feel.
Exactly.
And you feed into how you feel.
Right.
So you feel unworthy of a better situation.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You don't feel worthy.
Because you feel worthy of a bad situation.
Right. Because that's what you're focusing on.
Barrier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Barrier. You actually cut out your self-worth.
Right.
You actually diminish your self-worth.
Right.
Because you feel like you're not worthy of anything else.
Your head go down.
Exactly.
I'm saying like when you focus on the bad, bro, your confidence isn't the same.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not, bro.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. So it's like I'm really bringing it in connection. I'm making the connection with the worthiness, bro.
Yeah, I understand.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that you guys understand. And I'm gonna go to the comments in a second.
Right.
Like this lines up right. It lines right up with, you know, you feeling a sense of worthiness because like when you go through situations and you focus on the bad, you start to feel as if you're supposed to be going through this. So you feel like you're supposed to feel bad about it.
Oh, definitely. And see, this is the thing, man. And I'm gonna speak from. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but speaking on the psychological level, you know what I'm saying? Once you take your mind into that place, it actually releases toxins into your body.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And these toxins, man, they actually cause you to stress. You know what I'm saying? That's how people have heart attacks and strokes and different things like that, because we actually started from the top with accepting all the negativity. And now, like, we're releasing this stuff into our body, and it put us into bad health.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy that the things that we do to ourselves that we don't even know.
Right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You probably won't even realize it until later on down the line.
Like a domino effect.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, man, barriers, man, it's like, it can keep you from good health.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it can actually affect your health, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it can actually lead you to have a stroke. It can actually lead you to have a heart attack. Like, it's not just high cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? But you can actually create an environment within your body, you know what I'm saying, that can actually kill you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, seeking greater self-worth is so much more greater than actually hiding behind those barriers, man. That's actually it's actually, I won't say not apprehending, but preventing us from reaching higher heights, man, deeper depths, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes much more. Like,
yeah, man, bro. It's almost like, man, I'm gonna put it like this before we get out of here. Like I'm in the mindset of thinking of a bird, right? A bird that's in a cage. Now think about this. A bird that's in a cage does very less than the bird outside the cage. Just that simple.
Right.
I know you're looking at me like I'm about to say something more.
Right.
But just in that, I'm saying a bird that's inside the cage can't do what the bird can do outside the cage. The bird outside the cage can do a lot more than the bird can do inside the cage.
Because it's strict.
It's freedom.
Right.
It's freedom. It's freedom outside the cage. So that's what I'm saying. The point is, it's freedom outside of the barriers that we create for ourselves.
Exactly. But you have to come to that realization that you have created these barriers for yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that bird that's in the cage, he thinks he belong in the cage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. After for so long.
Exactly.
After so long of being in the cage.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this is my home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But once he get outside that cage, it's like, oh man, like I can fly everywhere.
Possibility.
Right. I can fly everywhere.
Right.
Possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
opportunities.
Explore it. You know what I'm saying? Explore it.
I'm gonna check these comments,
bro.
bro.
Go ahead, man, because we want to acknowledge, man. I want to acknowledge, man.
Yeah, I'm about to read all of them. Okay, Miss Regina is on here, of course.
Hey, Miss Regina.
She would come in early and she said, I know if I think about something too long, I would talk myself out of doing it. So I lunch out so I won't hold myself back. Exactly the point we were trying to make. Right. We give ourselves time to talk ourselves right back into being comfortable.
And see, I want to be too graphic,
but
what's your procrastination? Man, y'all forgive me, but procrastination is like masturbation, and in the end, you end up doing yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be too graphic with it, but I'm gonna say that one more time. Like procrastination is like masturbation, and in the end, you only wind up doing yourself.
Talk, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and that's just real. That's just real.
I can't get no plainer than that.
That's just real.
I feel you on 100%, Mr. Virginia.
It's only holding you. It's only holding you. And another comment that she commented was I've also found a lot of highly educated people talk themselves out of opportunities that would enhance their lives.
And see, I'm gonna say this. Like, it don't even matter. It don't even matter the level of knowledge that you have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is a natural occurrence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with knowledge or education.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This has to do with each individual.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the way that you think about your own self.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a PhD. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they still have things to fight with. They still have, you know what I'm saying? Like
personal battles.
Personal issues. Everybody got them.
Same barriers.
Right.
Okay. One more comment from Mama. We spend a lot of energy comparing ourselves to others while failing to believe that we are the best self we can be. We are powerful in our own right. Wow. Look within and stop looking outside of yourself. Right, bro.
But the thing about that is, you know, it takes a special favor for that, you know, because the way we were created, we weren't created to look inside. You feel me?
Right.
The only way that you can see yourself is if you go to a mirror. But other than that, like, you looking around.
Right.
You looking outside, you know what I'm saying? So that takes, you know, like some soul searching. You know, so you have to look within, like, you have to actually want to desire that. Like, you have to want that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, that's true. But for someone to say that for themselves, like, that takes actually some true soul searching. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have to want that.
Right.
You have to want that. You know what I'm saying? Because,
something that you have to seek.
Right. We weren't designed to look inside. We were designed to look outside. You know, so, yeah. I mean, yeah, I understand, you know, but it actually.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
But yeah, Ronald Clark said that, like the Bible states, as a man think, so shall he be.
Right.
If you're working and don't have money after you pay bills, stop complaining, work overtime. If you complain about not spending time with your family, don't complain, make time to take off and to enjoy your family.
Right.
It's simple. Complaining doesn't do anything but hold you back down.
Exactly.
That's facts.
Exactly. Why complain? See, a person that complains, that's a person that you know for sure that's not doing anything.
Say that again,
No,
bro.
they not. A person that complains, that's a person that you know for sure that's not doing anything.
Because he got time to complain.
Exactly. Like that same energy you putting into complaining, you could be using that same energy to create whatever you need.
Okay, another comment by Miss Regina. Some people don't know how to feel because they have been striped from childhood. It takes friends to bring them to the person's attention. Them wanting to help and God getting them to the point of healing.
True.
Amen.
True. Now, bro, I was gonna go earlier, way early in the podcast, bro. I was gonna talk about that. Talk about your circle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's not good to be around people that agree with you all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's bad for your health. You know what I'm saying? That's bad for your health. That's bad for your health, man. You gotta have some people that don't mind.
Man,
telling you
hurting them feelings.
Exactly.
Hurting them feelings, bro. Telling you the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because,
right.
bro, I mean, man, we love to feel good.
Oh, man.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Comfortability.
Sometimes, bro, truth, like, it's so sweet. Like, truth is so sweet, but it's like, sometimes it hurts.
Cut.
Like, it cut.
It takes a special individual to receive, to actually embrace. I won't say receive, but embrace truth. It takes a real special individual to embrace it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like what you're saying, but I agree 100%. Right, bro?
You're right. You know what I'm saying?
Right, dog. Right, man.
Hey, that you know what I'm saying? And, bro, for two people to sit down like that, like for you to tell me the truth about me and for me to accept it, like at that very moment, bro, both of us are being honest.
Right, man. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, no matter how it feels.
Right. You have to be honest. Like, honest.
And you know what I learned, bro? It's a certain peace you get after you tell the truth.
Oh man, no doubt.
Like when you tell the truth,
no doubt.
It's a certain it's such a spirit of peace that come over you.
Right.
It's when like, you tell the truth,
right?
and that's why I love that saying, bro. Truth will set you free. Truth will set you free, bro. The evidence of truth will make you free.
Yeah.
It'll make you free.
Yeah. Because,
bro, truth is like admission.
Oh yeah.
Like you admitting to yourself something.
Right. Or you receiving from somebody else the admission about you.
Your truth.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You accepting your truth.
Right.
You know, whether if it's coming from yourself or whether if it's coming from somebody else.
But it's somebody that loves you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it can't be no truth if there's no love.
Right. Because I mean, they can't even tell you the truth if
they don't love you.
Like,
how can somebody be honest with you though?
It goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
It goes hand in hand,
man. Like you gotta keep it 100. Gotta keep it A1. Like real talk.
So it's coming up to like 40. Okay, we have 43 right now, and we've been enjoying it, you guys. We're really enjoying the interaction. And we haven't been inside of our segment Question Us in a while. So we're going to do for the next 5 minutes, we're going to open the comment section for questions or anything about what we talked about tonight, or do you have any statements that you want to add, or any comments that you want to add to what we talked about tonight, or anything that pertains to personal development. So for the next 5 minutes, this is your chance to say anything you want to say in the comments, even though you already been doing it.
Right.
Still, but this is you guys' opportunity.
Right.
So I'm going to go to the comment section for the next 5 minutes before we get out of here, you guys. We appreciate everybody that tuned in, and it's always good vibes when we're on here together.
Most definitely. Man, we very much appreciate all the participation, everything. Yeah. But actually, man, like it actually draws, like like this stuff draws out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like it draws out of you, like us having these discussions together.
Right.
You know what I mean? It actually draws out, like, you know, what's inside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, like you definitely, to break down barriers, man, to break down walls that you built up for yourself, man, you actually you really have to accept the responsibility that you did it.
Wow.
Yourself.
That's big.
Like you got to, like you have to. You know what I'm saying? Like we can talk all day long, like about things that we like, about things that we like to do, about, you know, the way things make us feel and all of that. But until we actually accept the responsibility that we have created this reality, like ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. Like we can have some of the best conversations. Like it can make you feel like you're on top of the world, like all of that good stuff. But until you actually accept the responsibility that you created this reality, ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. You know?
Right,
Man,
right.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you,
man. So yeah, you guys, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. And the message and the lesson for tonight is break the barriers, because behind those barriers is freedom.
Mm.
You know, beyond those barriers are opportunities, possibilities, so many things that you could have, but it's outside of those barriers,
right,
that we create for ourselves, and it's outside of those barriers that we allow other people to create for us.
Right.
Things that we put off on other people.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's about ourselves and coming to that realization that, hey, I have to work on me. It's my responsibility to work on me. It's nobody else's responsibility.
Right.
I can't depend on you to make me better.
No.
You know, I have to take full responsibility for the things that I do, the way that I think,
right,
how I carry myself, what I pour into myself. You see what I'm saying? That's my responsibility.
Exactly.
It's nobody else's.
Nobody else. So let us stop, being fearful to actually jump over the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we jump up there on the wall, peek over the wall, but fear it'll drop us right back down into the box. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's out there. Some of us know what's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we know that it's great possibilities and great opportunities and freedom outside the box, but we just been in the box so long. It's like
what?
Like it's comfortable. It's comfortable being in the box.
You institutionalized to yourself.
Dang, man. I was like, man, gracious, man. There's people that's in prison, locked up in jail, man. That's more free mentally than we are outside in society.
That's crazy.
Man. Like real talk, man.
That's what we talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like in prison and in jails, they have physical walls,
right?
Like walls that you can touch and see,
right?
But it's on the outside we have physical freedom,
right?
But it's like we create
mental walls.
We create our prison.
Yeah.
We create our own prison,
right?
In our minds,
right, man.
With our imagination. So yeah, man, we coming to a close, coming up to about close to 50 minutes, 48 minutes. And we see that it's time, it's 9:40, it's almost 10 o'clock. But I appreciate you guys for getting on here late night, even though we try to get on here at 7, but nevertheless, we got on here and we connected with you, and we appreciate your presence. And I'm Mr. Best, the CEO.
I'm Mr. Best, the CFO.
And you already know,
here.
We out.
Yo.